இந்த மேடையில் வீட்டிற்கும் நம்ம தமிழ்நாடோட இந்து மக்களோட மூத்த தலைவர் ராமகோபாலன் அவர்களே, பாரதிய ஜனதா கட்சியோட தேசிய செயலாளர் ராஜா அவர்களே, சுஷீல் பண்டிட் அவர்களே, சகோதரிகளே, இது வெப்பில் இந்தியா முழுக்க பிரச்சாரம் ஆகிறதுக்காக ட்விட்டரில் எல்லோரும் என்கிட்ட செய்தி அமைச்சிருக்கார்கள். நான் இங்கிலீஷில் பேசுகிறோம் அவளுக்கும் புரியறதுக்காக. அதனால் அவங்க அனுமதியோடு நான் இங்கிலீஷில் பேசுகிறேன். வர தேர்தலில் தமிழில் இதே விஷயம் பேசுறதுக்கு தயார். Jihadi movement amongst the Muslim population has always been with the enemies of India. In 1946 election, in the reserved constituencies for Muslims, those who gave the slogan for Pakistan were elected in Tamil Nadu. After the partition, the Muslim organizations which believed in Jihadi Islam joined with Congress for protection, and Congress took their support for the votes. Soon the DMK came to power, and these jihadi organizations switched to the DMK. And since then, they have worked with DMK and ADMK alternatively. That is their strategy. And one thing I like about jihadi Muslims is that their mind is clear. We Hindus are like Arjuna. Mahabharata is taking place and he throws down his weapons and says, I cannot fight. We need a new mindset, as Sushil Pandit said, to know the threat that we are facing today. When Pakistan was created, the British in the House of Commons, that is the British Parliament, while moving the Indian Independence Act for creating Pakistan out of India, they said we are going to create a Muslim Pakistan and a Hindu India. That is what the British said. But once India was created, Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi to a much smaller extent, and he did not live long enough to give his true message to India. But Jawaharlal Nehru decided that those Muslims who wanted to stay in India, they are welcome to stay in India. Dr. Ambedkar said, no, let there be an exchange of population. If those Muslims who stayed in India, they knew very well that this is going to be a Hindu India, and they want to stay in India, we Hindus had no objection provided they stayed the way Parsis and the Jews stayed in India. That is by adopting local customs and culture, but protecting their religion. When we were 100% Hindu, the Parsis came here from Iran to escape the persecution of Islam, and we looked after them. And they are now part of our society. The Jews came here, persecuted all over the world. We looked after them here, built their synagogues in Cochin and in Bombay. And when Israel was created, the first resolution passed by the parliament of the newly created country of Israel, the first resolution said, thank you, India, one country where Jews were safe. That is our tradition. Today we are ready to accept the Muslim, provided he accepts one truth. And that truth is a scientific truth. That the DNA of the Muslim and the DNA of the Indian is the same, and therefore the ancestors of the Muslims are also Hindu. That is what we want to accept. But Muslims regard, the jihadi Muslims regard themselves as an international community. And now they are being attracted to ISIS. ISIS is saying that India is an incomplete chapter of Islamic history. Why is it incomplete? Because when Muslims conquered Persia, which is known as Iran today, that time it was 100% Zoroastrian. In 15 years, they converted Iran into 100% Muslim. 15 years. Neighboring Mesopotamia, Babylon, which is now known as Iraq, they in 17 years converted that country into 100% Muslim. Egypt, they converted to 100% Muslim in 21 years. Christians converted Europe into 100% Christian in 50 years. But in India, 800 years of Muslim rule, 200 years of Christian rule, and we are still 80% Hindu. Because of people who fought throughout. Hindus never accepted this foreign rule. So we fought, whether it was Shivaji who won, or it was Rana Pratap who lost, or Kattabomman who was hanged, or Rani Chennamma, or Vijayanagaram Empire which prospered for 300 years. The Hindus never gave up the fight, and that's what you must remember. We never submitted to Islam. If we had, then the whole of Southeast Asia would have become Islam. The Islamic advance was stopped in India. And that's what this Saudi Arabian history teaches us. But what does our history teach us? One chapter for each Mughal emperor. Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb. But if you talk about Cholas, one paragraph. Vijayanagaram, one paragraph. Vijayanagaram lasted 300 years. Cholas lasted 1,000 years. Nothing in the history book. Burn all these history books and write a new history book that should be prescribed. The present history books were written by the British to make you feel inferior, to make you feel subservient, to make you feel that we were not one country till the British came and created one country. Therefore, the first most important thing is, instead of finding fault with the jihadi Muslim, find fault with us Hindus, that we cannot unite because we are divided on caste basis. The Dravidian movement is the central cause for the anti-Hindu feeling in Tamil Nadu. But I am happy to see that Mr. Karunanidhi's son, Stalin, is now saying we are Hindus. His wife's name is Durga, and she goes to temples regularly. Even Karunanidhi gets prasadam from Kanchi Mutt regularly. And he wears the yellow shawl. Why does he wear yellow shawl? Even when he's having a bath, he has a yellow shawl. Supposed to give him luck. Karunanidhi did not know our history. He said Ravan is our Dravidian king. He does not know that Ravan was a Brahmin. He was born near Delhi, place called Bisrak village, which is still there. Went to Mansarovar, got a boon from Lord Shiva. and then came and conquered. Kuber ruled Sri Lanka. For long years, Rama, he did not know. He did not know that Ravan was a Brahmin from the north. But he now has stopped celebrating Ravan Leela. No more Ravan Leela. Maybe Veeramani might try, but Veeramani hasn't got much of a future now. There's a new Hindu wave starting in Tamil Nadu. And even DMK is now talking about Hindu. So therefore, the future is with us. But Karunanidhi still is very critical of Rama. When I was arguing in the Supreme Court against demolition of Ram Setu, he said, who is Swami to talk about Ram Setu? Was Ram built it? Does he have an engineering degree? This is what he said to make fun of Rama. Next day he fell ill. He had to be taken to a hospital. And the name of the hospital, Ramchandra Medical Hospital. Rama also doesn't have MBBS degree. So, and everything without thinking, Karunanidhi makes criticism. He is against Sanskrit, but his own name is Karunanidhi, which is Sanskrit name. Why can't he think of a Tamil name? Why can't he take his black cats from Tamil Nadu? Why does he have to get North Indian black cats? So therefore, this hypocrisy must end. And the question is how to do it. First, understand that the Muslim mind is made by the Quran and the Hadith and the Sirah. Hadith and Sirah deal with what Muhammad said and what he said, what his life is about. Quran is, of course, their religion. The one thing that comes out is where Muslims are in majority, no tolerance for any minority. Kashmir, they are in majority, and they have driven out 500,000 Kashmiri Pandits out of the state. Similarly, in Mallapuram, there is Muslim majority. The Hindus are living there in terror. There is no police there. It is all Sharia police there now. Even in Male Visharam near Vellore, small town panchayat, Muslim majority town panchayat, the Hindus there were suffering till Vedantam took me to meet those Dalits in the Male Visharam town panchayat and found out how terrible their life is because the Muslim majority says we will not give you any amenities like roads or schools or any other amenities, civic amenities, till you convert to Islam. So I had to go to the Madras High Court and get a direction. This is happening in Tamil Nadu, and not only in Male Visharam, but in 40 town panchayats in Tamil Nadu. Even though they are only 5% or 6%, but pockets where they are in majority, no opportunity for minorities. In Saudi Arabia, there are 20 lakh Hindus working there. Can they build a temple there? No. Can they celebrate Diwali there? No. Can they hold Satyanarayan Puja inside their house? No. And when I ask Saudi Arabians, they say that is our religion. Supposing we do this and say no mosque, no azan, no Eid, then how will the Muslims regard it? And yet, I think I saw in this Gautama's tape, one Muslim leader saying to the police, the whole of Tamil Nadu, there are only 72,000 police people. Am I right? 40,000. 20,000 policemen. And we are in 50 lakhs. Well, let them know that there are 100 crore Hindus all over India. We are ready to bond with Hindus. The Hindus are ready to bond with Muslims. But then they must accept to be part of our family, which means they must accept that their ancestors are Hindus. Their ancestors are not Gori and Ghazni. And if you want to say that your ancestors are Gori and Ghazni, give me a sample of your blood or your hair. I will test your DNA and send you a report to show it's the same as mine. So how do you meet this challenge? The challenge is only by unity of Hindus. Giving up all our caste divisions. For too long in our elections, they have been dividing the Hindus and uniting the minorities. Time has come for us to unite the Hindus and divide the minorities, do the opposite. 31% vote for of the Hindus for BJP this time produced you an absolute majority. If in the next election we got 40%, you'll get 2/3 majority in parliament. For your family, wedding and all, you do caste as much as you like. But when it comes to the ballot box, vote for that party which believes in unity of Hindus. Otherwise, Tamil Nadu is in trouble. Because here, the ISIS T-shirts are coming from Sri Lanka. They came first, the LTT militants, and then from that came the Pakistanis sent their terrorists via Jaffna and Batikola to Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu today is the second most terrorist compliant state. Unfortunately, Ms. Jayalalitha, I don't know what has happened to her. She is the one who first passed the law banning forcible and induced conversions, religious conversions. One visit from the Consulate General of United States to her, she did a somersault and removed that act. Now, anything the Muslims do, anything the jihadis do, nothing is done. How many RSS people have been killed today in Tamil Nadu? No progress. Police people complain to me that we are not allowed to take action or preventive action. Now you see, with this kind of administration, how can you have any safety for Hindus when the Hindus, people claiming to be Hindus, do not protect the law and order situation? One pressman asked me, what do you think of Jayalalitha's administration? I said in Tamil, Kaideke Kalpuravasan Teriyum, Korangu Kaila Pumale Kurta Nahu, Ada Jayalalitha ka Archi Kurta Hau. So she filed a defamation case against me. I took it to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court put a stay on it. And then her lawyers came and started arguing. So one of the Supreme Court judges asked, Mr. Counsel for Jayalalitha, may I ask you a question? He said, yes, sir. Now, which is Ms. Jayalalitha objecting to? Being called a donkey or a monkey? Made her look ridiculous, putting defamation case on anything, and not by herself, but through the state. She'll be taught a lesson in the Supreme Court. In the disproportionate assets case also, which is starting on 23rd. I am there, so there's no escape. She can improve if she wants. Let her take action against 5 jihadi organizations in Tamil Nadu. If she doesn't know, she should ask the center. They've got the list. They've got the names. You can read it. Tamil Nadu is a state that was one of the most flourishing states till this recent developments. We have to, therefore, now build a situation where we protect the culture of this country. There are more temples in Tamil Nadu than the whole of the world. But they have all been illegally taken by the government. When they took away Sabhanayaka temple, the famous Nataraj temple in Chidambaram town, I went to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court said, in future, not only, of course, this was released and given back to the Dikshitars, but the court also laid down, no temple will be taken by the government for more than 3 years. There are 47,000 temples in Tamil Nadu which have been there for 70, 80 years. All the temple lands have been taken away by the MLAs. The people, the pujaris have been beaten into submission. There's huge corruption in each of those temples. We cannot tolerate this anymore. And I think he was worried, Pandit was worried from coming from Kashmir to Tamil Nadu. Well, my Gotra is Kashyapa, so I came long before from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. There is no question, the Hindu movement must now start from Tamil Nadu and go up to the north. Look at, in everything we are defensive. Rama temple. They say it was a masjid. How was it a masjid? Because it was Rama temple was demolished. How do we know? Archaeological Survey of India has proved it. That there was a temple, it was demolished and masjid built. So we say, let Rama temple be built and you build a masjid a little distance away from across the Saryu river. They say, no, we cannot. But in Saudi Arabia, even for building a road, they demolish a masjid. You want to see the examples? Go to Google and just type demolition of mosques in Saudi Arabia. You'll get the list of all the mosques that have been demolished in Saudi Arabia. Why? Because Saudi Arabians tell me that masjid is only a place to read namaz. Namaz can be read anywhere, on the road, on the railway platform, in an aeroplane. And the mosque is a place to read namaz. And therefore we can shift it. We can demolish it. And we do it. Even the mosque where Prophet Muhammad read his namaz, the Saudi Arabians demolished it. But in our country, they say, no, for Ram temple we will not shift. Why not? Not only that, but ultimately they will have to shift because I will prove it in the Supreme Court that the temple once built according to Prana Pratishta will always be a temple, whereas a masjid can be shifted. 40,000 temples were demolished and masjid built on it. But we don't want all of them back. I spoke to some Muslim leaders like Owaisi, Shahabuddin, Faruqi. I told them I'll give you a Krishna package. They said, what is a Krishna package? I said, leave 3 temples. 1 Mathura, 2 Ayodhya, and 3 Kashi Vishwanath. And remaining 39,997 you keep. They said, why you call this a Krishna package? I said, when Duryodhana was approached by Lord Krishna, he said, give us 5 villages and keep your kingdom. But that fool didn't realize, and he said, no, not even the space on the tip of the needle I will give. And he lost everything. So, either 3 or 40,000. This is the way we have to address, because Muhammad said the world is divided into 3 parts: Darul Islam, Darul Harab, and Darul Ahad. What does that mean? Darul Islam is where Muslims are in power, no place for minorities. Darul Harab is where the Muslims are in minority, but the majority is not united. It is divided like India. There, Muhammad's advice to Muslims is, keep on demanding, keep on demanding. Don't yield on anything. Even if the masjid can be shifted, don't yield on it. And then there is a third, Darul Ahad. where the majority, non-Muslims, non-majority is united, and Muslims are in minority. In our country, Muslims will not accept uniform civil code, but in Australia, they accept uniform civil code. In America, they accept uniform civil code. Why? Because there the majority is very clear. There will be uniform civil code, or you get out. When in Australia, one imam said, we want our Shariat law for weddings, the Prime Minister of Australia said, if you want Shariat law, you go to some other country. In Australia, you will only get uniform civil code. Next day, all the Muslim organizations passed resolution that this imam is a fool. We are happy with uniform civil code. Therefore, the lesson to be learnt is what Muhammad himself taught the Muslims. Where we are in majority and united, the Muslims will fall in line. Where we are like in Tamil Nadu, all for money divided and for votes doing anything, there they will go on demanding and start threatening the police and threatening our people. So the only answer to all this is not to find fault with the Muslims. They are doing what is in their interest. But I find fault with the Hindus that we cannot unite. So let us unite. Let us make other parties fall in line. When the Hindu vote grows in Tamil Nadu, you will see Karunanidhi coming doing bhajans in the streets. It is because we don't have a Hindu vote. The guidance given by our great leader sitting here, and he has now made it from absolutely hopeless position to a situation where people are now willing to say we are Hindus. Stalin is ready to say we are 90% Hindus. I don't mind if Stalin will agree to say that if his father can retire and go to the Himalayas, then we were ready to join with him and create a new national Hindu force in Tamil Nadu. Or we can tell Jayalalitha, you going to temples is no use. You must make it now an official policy that this country will be truly secular, which means that the Hindus will have as much freedom as anyone else. But in our constitution, freedom of worship is subject to reasonable restrictions. You cannot have unreasonable restrictions in the name of religion. You cannot say that Muslim women will only get 1/6 of the inheritance. You cannot say that you can be divorced by talaq sent by SMS. Women also have right whether they are Muslims or Hindus. So we need secular laws. You want secularism? Then you must have secular laws. They must apply. We Hindus may today not be treating women equally, but in history, throughout our tradition, women have always enjoyed high positions. In fact, sometimes even more than men. One day I was sitting to decide with my friend what Brahma's cabinet would look like. Brahma, Prime Minister, Shiva and Vishnu as Deputy Prime Ministers. Portfolio, important portfolio. Finance to whom? Lakshmi. Defense to whom? Parvati or Durga. Education to whom? Saraswati. No portfolio for male gods except one. Information broadcasting for Narad Muni. That was the tradition. When the male gods could not destroy the demons, they had to go and beg Durga to take the form of Kali. That was the tradition we had. And that tradition must come back. Men and women must be treated equally and equally for all religions. There cannot be two codes for this. Then only this country will not see jihad. We have in the past defeated Islamic invasions when the caliphs came in 700 AD. In Madurai, I'm proud to say that my ancestors, my grandfather's grandfather Ramappa Iyer was the Prime Minister and Commander-in-Chief of the Tirumala Nayaka dynasty. And we cleared from Ramanathapuram to Mysore the entire Islamic kingdoms of the Madurai district. So that tradition we have, we can do it, and we must now come together as one and ready to face through democratic means. Our constitution is strong enough. We can do it through the constitution peacefully, but with a warning that if you engage in violence, don't think that we will take it lying down. We know how to administer the law and order of this country. The Hindu has stood up today, and now he has to consolidate and see that the primary tradition of this country, that the mainstream of our religion, our mainstream of our culture, is Hindu culture, in which we tolerate minorities as no other countries do. But within that framework of the Hindu culture, we will build a united society. And those who try to tear it down, we will fight them by whatever means that they want us to fight us. That Virat Hindu is the one that we want today. And that is why today I came specially all the way from Delhi for the release of this tape. Thank you very much.